And they were interviewing a man who worked at a funeral home. And he was saying, so I heard this video first, and then my mom says this, right? So
Gotcha.
I listened to this video, and this man is saying, listen, I started off as a priest, and I realized I couldn't be a priest, and I got married, and, and then I realized that I needed to work with, the field of death and dying. And he says, and then I got into the funeral, business, and he says, and there I was telling everybody that they need to prepare, for these things. He goes, but I wasn't. So he said, I began to write my own obituary. And he said, and I have for all these years now been sharing with life the importance of writing our own obituary. Where did it come up that we wait for somebody else to write the story of our life,
Yes.
And here we place such a universal notion on our obituary. It better be written well. I hope it's written well. What are the things going to be said? And then some people get nothing, born, died.
Yeah.
Not even predeceased by or anything. So
Yeah.
I found that all very fascinating. And so I started this list on my phone called Nat's Obituary for Fun. That's nothing new for me. I created my funeral list about 26 years ago or something. And I've printed it every once in a while throughout the years to read it. And I go, okay, well, and that's what this man was saying. He goes, you need to update your obituary, your own, every year.
Yeah.
And he says, it's funny because he said, I've been doing this for many years now, and I thought that my obituary would get longer. He said, but each year when I go through it, I'm able to capture, So that was all that. And then my mom says this, and then I call my mom back and I read to her what I'd written, just in I'm a writer, Kathy. So I was sparked, and I had 18 pages of my obituary. But it wasn't for my obituary. And so I read it to my mom. It wasn't 18 pages, it was 4. I read it to my mom, and she goes, oh, Natalie, oh, this is so beautiful, but this is your book. This is not an obituary. And I said, Mom, I know. Mom, do you know that as a writer, my whole life, I'm talking about me, Mom, but most writers, you gather, you compile, you create, and then you go back. That's what's called editing, Mom. Okay? So, Mom, it's important. Well, hello, writing an obituary for yourself. Yes, Mom, it's important to include the book of your life. But jots, just Natalie Brown Van incident, Natalie meningitis, Natalie endometriosis, Natalie married, daughter's born, you just go down the whole list of everything. And she's like, oh, but Natalie, and my mom kept arguing with me at that point. I go, Mom, I don't know why you're arguing. This is just for fun. I mean, it really is. And maybe the word's not just for fun, but it's eye-opening, it's soul-opening, it's peaceful to me. And and I'm sharing with you because, Mom, you have to, Natalie, how much would that cost? Mom, JC's obituary that I wrote that was half a page, the biggest obituary they've ever seen in this small town of Ramsar, was about $700 some. My mom goes, oh my God. I go, oh my God. This man, JC, my father-in-law, deserved to have a beautiful story written about him. $700? What is the cost?
Right. You can't put a price on that.
You can't. And you know what, Mom? I said, you already remember how many people, the funeral parlor man, he met my sister-in-law right after all of that when I wrote the obituary for my father-in-law 4 years ago. He ran into my sister-in-law at Walmart, and he was like, your sister-in-law, meaning me, wrote, he said, I've been in the funeral business for 37 years, and I've never seen such a beautiful obituary.